Hello guys and welcome back to the Summer of Love 2023. I'm Nox Gaming and I'm joined by none other than Zero the 14th and legendary MixMastaPJ. Also with me we have the Star Baby and Nivra. So Star, take it away dude.
I hope you guys are ready to travel back in time to 1980 because this is one of my favorite animated shows as a kid and I'm very excited to watch this speedrun. So MixMastaPJ, if you're ready to go, let's go Joe.
Yeah, for sure. We don't have to go all the way that far back. The game came out in 1990 at least, so we had plenty of lore and Joes and enemies that you might recognize if you're familiar with the show. If not, it's still a blast regardless. I got Zero the 14th here commentary, a former runner of the game himself and moderator of the leaderboard. I guess we got to reset that timer back to 0 and we'll get started here as soon as I hit game start. Are you guys ready in the booth there?
All good.
Okay, 36:19 would be a pretty bad time for me, so I'm hoping we don't get that.
36:19 was about my first submission for this game.
Alright, we're going to start a brand new game here in 3, 2, 1, go!
Right, now one thing with this is each character will actually have different stats. One of the things you saw him doing there is Rock and Roll has a great gun, but he can't jump, and he has little health, so he actually started with Duke. And you can use Duke to jump up and get a power-up that's higher off the ground that Rock and Roll couldn't normally get. Now here, the reason he's jumping so much is because jumping will actually make you move a lot faster than just walking normally. And you're also here, the reason he's not just spamming bullets is there's also a lot of lag involved in this game, so if you have too much on the screen, the game will just slow down. Now here we use Snake Eyes there because he can throw grenades ridiculously fast. Very good one cycle on the first boss.
Yeah, for sure. Those weapons that you see there, the gun in the corner of the screen, you see it says level 2A down there. Our goal is to get that up to maximum, and because Rock and Roll is so pathetic with his hops, he's not able to jump that high. We use the Duke at the very beginning. That's the only actual time we use Duke in the speedrun, is to just jump at the very beginning so that he can get that gun for Rock and Roll. There are a total of 6 missions in this game, and each mission is led by a different Joe. So this Amazon mission that we're on at first is led by Duke. The next one will be led by Blizzard, but we get to pick 2 other Joes to support us. So Rock and Roll is going to be part of the game the entire time.
Yep. In like the second level, you saw those checks there. It won't let you actually go to the boss until you place a bomb on those certain points to blow up Cobra's warehouse or their base or whatever. Now here we're just going through. You'll kind of see sometimes you'll alternate between the bottom or the top just to go a little quicker. And this boss is horrible for RNG. You want him to jump down and stand still. But sometimes he does this and he just runs all over. Though there he stood still pretty good. Sometimes he'll run around and it's just basically a reset there if you're not in a marathon because he won't sit still.
Yeah, I give that one about a 3 out of 5 on the luck factor.
About average. This is also the only time in the game you use Blizzard unless you're falling in a pit and need to sacrifice someone. Blizzard is terrible. Like, there is nothing good that... Well, Blizzard starts with high stamina, but that's really not that valuable.
Yeah.
So here he's... The fun thing with Captain Gridiron, his punch is ridiculously powerful. So you saw him punching those little guys on the things, and now here he's punching missile launchers and punching a plane, basically, to beat this boss with fists. Normally you'd expect guns or grenades, but Gridiron is just, he's ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, his gun's not so good though, so we only use him for enemies that happen to be weak to the punch.
And now here we got there's different vehicles you can get in the game as well. This one, I don't know what the technical name is for the helicopter, I just call it the helicopter. Do you know the name for this one is, Pete?
No, I have no idea. I just know that apparently the carbon monoxide output is okay because these guys in the warehouse are fine. Yep. And the legs dangling from below, I mean, it's kind of like a go-kart to car comparison, comparing this thing to a real helicopter, right? Like it just... It fits through hallways, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's got a nice... You don't want to be spamming bullets because that will, again, lag the game. But here you go through a false wall. This is our third check, and There is another vehicle that you'll be seeing. You're fighting it here, but it's one that we unfortunately have to use later in the game called the Buzzbore. And this thing, the Buzzbore, is the worst ever. We'll explain that a little bit later. If you see the thing that says danger at the top, you can actually shoot that and your own Buzzbore will come down, but that's just so much slower. Really good boss fight there. Now here, this is a really fun level as far as the speedrun goes, but there's so much precision that you have to have here. If you're off even a little bit, you're going into a pit.
I was ready to switch to Blizzard there.
Yeah, I saw that. That was better safe than sorry. If someone's going in the pit, you want it to be Blizzard. But like you have a very, very minimal window to hit those jumps, otherwise you'll get knocked back. Now here, if you see him switching between his gun and the punches there, that's actually a way where you can kind of pour out a little bit of extra damage, because the punches and the bullets will combine, and you get a little some extra hits. It only works on a couple bosses if they're standing still. But it is, like there, he's ducking and punching too, and that does the same thing.
Yep.
Rock and Roll's punch is normally really, really weak, but if you duck and spam it like that, it works really well.
Yeah, I mean, because you can only have so many bullets on the screen at a time, but once you fire those there, then you have a chance to sneak a punch in before you'd be able to get your next shot off anyway. So you can get, like, I don't know, 1.3x damage versus just spamming the bullets there. We got an auto-scroller here, so if there's any donations or you guys want to say some things about Bowel Cancer UK, now's a good time to do it.
Thank you. Just want to read one of the donations from Green. Knox being a stand-up guy for organizing these events, doing for a great cause. You're a legend, sir. Thanks for everyone who played today. My nan had bowel cancer, so you're making a huge difference. Exclamation CBT. Thanks again, Green, for the £10 donation.
Alright, we got our boss fight down here in the sewers. We got maximum gun upgrades there, got great RNG on the item drop, so hopefully this doesn't take too many shots.
Yeah, usually you need 3, otherwise you have to pick up some extras in 3-3. But there, I think I counted 4, which is outstanding. Usually if I see anything more than 1, it's a victory. Now this is the Buzzbore that I was referring to earlier. The person that designed it hates people. The controls are really awkward. You kind of cling to ledges, but like here, you don't know if you're going to be connected to the top or the bottom. But it moves faster than walking, so since this is a speed run, you have to unfortunately deal with it. And it's another one of those things where if you just hold the button down for too long, all those shots will get stuck on the screen and you'll end up lagging a lot.
Yeah, the weapon also, like, operates at a fixed distance there, so there could be an enemy, like, directly in front of you that you're actually not able to hit because they're too close to it. So you have to, like, maintain another variable of distance from the enemy you're about to fire at, just so that you can actually make contact with them.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, you see him kind of stopping for, like, a half a second there to make sure that he's got a path cleared. There is a backup Buzzbore right above where he is right now. You could kind of see it through the wall there, but we don't want to have to get that because that takes time. And now that we're getting near the end of what you need to do here, you'll start seeing him just take damage boosts because well, not damage boosts, but he'll be using the iframes. Because you'll actually be able to get a bulletproof vest here that gives you invincibility, which I know you'd mentioned, PJ. How does a bulletproof vest work on a vehicle like this?
It seems that they came up with the power-up icon before they realized that, oh yeah, it'll work on vehicles too.
But the nice thing with the bulletproof vest is it does also... You don't have to really worry about the lag when the bulletproof vest is on. So that's always nice. That comes in handy on especially Mission 5 too.
Oh my gosh, this fight.
Good bulletproof vest. This is one of the coolest fights in the game. It's against the AI computer, and you're just taking Captain Gridiron and punching a computer in the face.
Okay.
That's weird.
I don't think I've ever gotten stuck in that wall before.
What happened?
I tried to grab onto the wall, and it got me stuck in the wall there. I guess I was below the computer.
I've never seen... Like, I've been able to cling to the walls under there before, but I've never seen it glitch you into the wall like that.
That's
I've
alright.
been playing this game for over 30 years, and I've never seen that. But that's a very safe strategy to use beat the computer, just take rock and roll and go back to the left.
Yeah, normally you can just punch that eye enough times, but as you saw there, it just did not want to happen, so
Yeah,
had to go to the backup
sometimes
threads.
you get a bad pattern where the computer will move in a direction you don't want it to, which is really unfortunate when you're doing, like, when you're on a really good pace, too, because just that little bit of RNG can completely kill your run.
Yep.
Now here, this is where we would be collecting those gun power-ups if rock and roll wasn't already maxed. In Gridiron, after that battle with the computer, you'd be jumping into the pit with him anyway, so there's really no difference here.
Yeah. We didn't really lose
Not this
anything there.
close.
Didn't turn off a punch there.
We just basically stand in its face with rock and roll and fire bullets until it's dead. It's a lot easier than a lot of the other bosses in the game. And now we are out of the next out of mission 3, and we're into, God, where's the hills?
Yeah. Now, if you saw this game during the Big 20, that happened back in March, this is where that category would end. The next levels there are far more challenging, and I guess they didn't think that the Big 20, the best gamers that we got on the NES, are capable of that. I disagree. I think we could have at least gotten to this level, but maybe Road Pig is
this
just
would've
too
been a good
risky.
one.
I think the continue system is fair enough that we could have done something a little bit more, but I understand.
This is the only time we're going to be seeing this vehicle in the run. It's got really good jump, and it's one of the few times you can take one of these things in with a boss. And the shots this thing fires are incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I lost this vehicle up here, and I was trying to kill this boss without this vehicle, and how incredibly difficult it was.
So yeah, that thing has a lot of health. Now, this level, there's a couple things you'll be doing here. Like, you'll be seeing a lot of jumping, and there's a quick climb you can do. It's really difficult to time with that, where you're barely holding onto the ledge. Now here we have to go up, and so you'll be switching to rock and roll to break through these blocks with this, because his shots spread out. And you're doing even when you're just doing these little jumps like this, you still get it's a lot quicker than just walking.
Yeah, it definitely looks ridiculous versus walking, but you can see just the difference between walking speed and constantly jumping speed.
So yeah, it's something like after you run this game, sometimes you're just out of habit trying to jump right away when you don't really need to. Very clean way to drop down there. If you don't time that right, you end up getting knocked back, and it causes this whole section here to get thrown off then. Because ideally you want to be able to just run straight down through those flamethrowers. But if your timing is off and you get knocked back there, then you can't jump like that. Now this is a really difficult part too to do well. You basically kind of have to jump around, go up an extra ledge, grab onto the end, and hop up. It took I don't know how long it took you, PJ, to get really good at that, but that was a very
I still don't think I'm particularly good at it. I still don't think I'm particularly good at it. Just sometimes it happens to work, but a lot of times it doesn't. Like, there. Bopping my head on that ledge too many times.
Yeah, it looks really cool when you get it, when everything works out.
Yeah.
Ooh, extra health, that'll be nice. This is Road Pig here, one of the most annoying bosses in the game. You can get knocked all the way down to the edge. But you see here, I don't know if you can see it quickly enough, he turned away for a very brief second as he was jumping up to the edge. And that was so when he took the damage, he'd go back onto the top ledge next to Road Pig instead of getting knocked back down.
Yeah, as cool as that health boost was, I really wanted it for rock and roll instead, because then I could have stayed there and taken another hit from Road Pig. But it was really important to preserve that health for this boss up here.
Yeah, the next boss here, you can take the helicopter, so it's basically free to get there. But there's this little beam of light that it'll shoot that it does, what, 4 or 5 bars?
It only does 3, but when you
okay.
when you take all that damage from Road Pig and you're left with only like 5 HP, you can only take one of those hits. So we ideally want to have as much HP as possible so we can chase this guy. And if we get bad beam RNG, that it doesn't completely wipe us out.
Yeah, there you just basically you didn't get a bottom beam, so you just get as close as possible and just keep shooting at him until he's done.
Oops, that was not intentional. All right, well we got Blizzard, I guess.
Oh, that's fine. The third person doesn't do anything in this level, do they?
Snake Eyes, no, not usually.
No. The helicopter here.
He's a good backup to have for 5-3. That's about it.
Yeah. Now that helicopter has been things that can really mess up your runs if there's weird patterns and everything. You'll see him kind of spreading out his shots and waiting right until he's in front of something to shoot. That's again to minimize the bullet lag. You basically have to memorize where everything is going to spawn in this level.
Yeah, those things take like 12 bullet shots, so if you're far away and only 2 or 3 of them connect, you gotta throw a whole lot more on the screen to get there. So I just wait till the last second so I can make sure that 8 or 10 of them are making contact on the first shot. Although, I tried to lure the van a little bit further left than that. I lost contact with the boss for a sec. That's alright.
Now here we're in I don't know if anyone remembers Destro. This is his warehouse. We'll be seeing him shortly. Probably, what, maybe 6 minutes?
Yeah,
maybe, no, less than that.
Yeah, probably like 3 minutes, but I'm never looking forward to it, I'll say that much.
Yeah. 5-3, the next level is the most, at least, it's such a fun level for the speedrun, but it's also quite possibly the most difficult, because you're constantly moving, your timing has to be pretty much perfect, and unfortunately in this level, we have to use the buzzbore again. That was a really good jump there to cling up to the wall. Sometimes you'll grab the bottom wall there, and you'll end up going off to the side when you don't want to. It's hard to explain just how bad the controls for the buzzbore are unless you've actually tried it yourself. And this is one of the best platformers I've ever played. So if you haven't tried this one yet and you get the chance to, I can't recommend it highly enough.
The buzzbore is just difficult. It's not unfair. Like, there's not, like, things going on with it that are rude. Like, it's certainly controllable to, like, a very high level where if you're really, really skilled with it, you'll get great things out of it. But it just seems like, to someone who's casually with it, it just doesn't seem like it's always following directions. And that's what makes it very frustrating. But it's not like it's broken, per se. It's just poorly programmed, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Here's, you've got 201 health left now.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah. There's really, unless you get like a ridiculously bad missile pattern here, you should be fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Because it's not like the world ends if you lose the buzzbore, because the boss door is right above.
Yep, and we got all 7 bombs
check is.
placed, so we're headed right there to this ridiculous boss.
Yeah, this is another weird one where you'll actually have a moving platform going up. So if you end up dropping down and there's no platform beneath you, you die. So you kind of have to shoot yourself a little path up here. Now you're going to see him aim up and get a couple extra shots in on the boss right here. And then once those 2 spots open up at the top, we're going to switch to gridiron and just duck and punch, and that just completely shreds the boss with fists.
Alright, here it comes.
Now that was the worst possible bullet RNG there. that shot will go in one of, 6 different directions, and it just happened to go in the one that we didn't want it to. So here we're utilizing Gridiron's extremely strong punch to just keep moving forward in the level and hitting everything you can in the head. Oh, that was really tight. I thought you were going to get knocked into that pit there. That was awesome.
Yeah, I actually had too good of a move going down. I didn't hit the first boomerang guy, so I needed the iframes to go through the next one, so I had to turn back and get the iframes first.
That looked really cool. Now, Destro's a 2-phase boss here. You've got to beat the vehicle first, and now he doesn't fight fair. His whole thing here is he tries to knock you into a pit. So our goal is just
look at that. We got the perfect one.
Yeah, that was perfect. You want to get as close as possible to him and just keep shooting him, and then ideally, what you just saw PJ do there, you end up dying right as he dies, so you don't have... That saves a little bit of time on screen transitions. And now, finally, the game gives us General Hawk, who can hover and has, like, a jetpack.
Yeah, he's been the guy who's been briefing us on all these missions at the beginning and telling us what to do and who's in charge. And, like, this whole time, he's had a jetpack and a really strong gun and hasn't offered to help one bit. So, needless to say, when I finally got this level, the first few seconds were like, oh, yeah, I got this guy with a jetpack. But then after that, it was like, where's he been this whole game? How come I couldn't have picked him? He's just sitting in his office?
Yeah, he's basically good at pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And now here, I don't know if you saw him taking some hits with rock and roll there at the start. we're setting up for a death warp at the end. You could walk all the way back after getting the last check, but it's so much easier just to kill rock and roll and start back at the beginning of the level, so that's why he took those hits. One nice thing with the grenades is those grenades will actually do 4 bars of damage. And since rock and roll died at the end of last level, his stamina goes back down to the starting 9. So you just take 2 of those 4 hits, you've got 1 left, and after you get the last check, boom, rock and roll's dead. Now there's a really cool thing here. That shot that he just did there is incredibly... The timing is really, really tight. So when you do it like that, not only does it look great, but it saves you a lot of time and health because you're not getting knocked back and General Hawk isn't taking 4 bars.
Yeah, it's huge. And, like, the window on it's pretty tight, but, like, what's more important is just keeping the momentum, too. Like, as we said, the jumping was always faster than walking. Well, what's better than a guy who's flying? Like, we're going as fast as I would be if I were jumping constantly, so I just get to hold A. It makes it a whole lot easier, also evading a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, like, sometimes these grenades, usually they'll throw high and you're fine, but sometimes they'll just throw a low, they're really nice duck to avoid that one. Sometimes they'll throw low, and since it's so uncommon that they throw low, you're not expecting it. And then you have to, there is backup health you can pick up if you need to, so it's not like it's the end of the world, but that's still extra time you have to spend going to pick that stuff up. Now here, almost at the last check, so you see the death warp that he had set up earlier. Like there's some backup health there. And there'll also be another one down here.
We don't need it. Let's go.
Yeah, got level 3 guns.
We max them out just to be safe. It's not going to take that much time.
Definitely can't hurt.
Yeah.
Cobra Commander has a few... He can turn you into a lizard. He does a lot of damage with these grenades. There's a lot of RNG involved with...
Should go up here if we're going to max them out. That's faster.
Nice. I thought that one was gonna bop you too.
Yeah, and the tough part is there actually is no backup health between here and the boss, so you know, losing a couple on these missiles here there's not so bad, but losing 4 on a grenade would have been really rough.
Yeah. You never want to lose 4 to the grenade, especially
because
Cobra Commander he can end things really quick, and if you don't have General Hawk, it's not impossible, but it becomes very unlikely. Especially since your rock and roll would be the normal backup, and you're left with a level 1 Duke.
Yep. Alright, here comes our fight. Time is going to be when that platform on the left stops moving.
So if you get hit with those little rings that are shooting out from the top right, you'll turn into a lizard. So you gotta avoid that. You can fall in the pit if you get knocked back.
There we go, time.
Beautiful.
Nice quick fight.
So yeah, Cobra Commander can throw those grenades, but yeah, he just died really quickly to that level 3. Oh, the max gun. GG's.
What do you end up with, a 21, mid-21 or something like that?
It was like a 21-26 or something like that, 21-25.
I got 21-40.
Oh, that's fine. Sub-22 is all it's open for. We'll take that. But yeah, now Cobra Commander is finally defeated. And all his main bases have been destroyed. Then we got our long little credit scene here, and they show all the enemies that they beat. And then in typical Taxon fashion, they tell you that your journey's not over. And there's a second quest. And what do they do in the second quest? They only give you 2 Joes. So you get the one Joe that would be leading the mission, you get to pick 1. So instead of 3 guys, you only get 2 to work with. Which means that we're usually picking rock and roll. So we miss out on using Snake Eyes grenades or his big jump, etc. And a couple of other places. But yeah, that's G.I. Joe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be back here with American Gladiators a little bit later. Another blast from the past there for the NES. But keep raising money for a great cause. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm playing these games on my Twitch channel all the time. And NES is what I usually focus on. So if you're ever looking for more nonsense like that, feel free to stop by there.
Thank you so much. Star, do you have anything to add? Nimrod, would you like anything to add?
Yeah, anybody, if you can, please donate so we could hit the Basutai donation to continue the marathon for some Final Fantasy VII any percent.
Yeah, that's the next goal we need to hit. Guys, thank you so much. We have the Benedictator coming up next with Bioshock. I think it's no major skips. That's the one on PC. So we're going to do a massive shout out to Zero the 14th and most importantly MixMastaPJ. And like MixMastaPJ has said, he's coming up next after Benedictator with American Gladiators. So make sure you stick around for that. So appreciate everybody so much. Enjoy the music and we'll see you guys on the flip side.